Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go through the second part of the agent attraction. We left off the last time we talked last week, talking about we did the script, the invite script to invite to a luncheon or invite to a one-on-one meeting or to an event, whatever the case may be, to share the opportunity of EXP. But if it's going to be a one-on-one meeting where you're meeting with someone, or if it's a phone call or a Zoom meeting, and this is someone that you're not very familiar with, or even if you are familiar with them, we want to use the forward concept because I always say when you're talking to someone about the EXP opportunity, the person that asks the most questions is leading the conversation, and the person that speaks less is winning the conversation. And what I mean by that is when you're asking questions, you're listening to the response that you're getting for your questions. And the purpose of Ford is to learn the family, the occupation, the recreation, and the dreams. And two of the things that you're making mental notes of when you're doing this are pain and pleasure. See, those are the two things in life. Whatever we're doing in life, those are the two things that drive us, or pain or pleasure. We're motivated by pain, we're motivated by pleasure. What I mean by that is when we're in a difficult situation, maybe it's a financial difficult situation, maybe it's a job that we don't like that creates pain. Financial issues can create pain, and you will be motivated to get yourself into a better situation by removing yourself from the pain. On the flip side of that, pleasure is one of those things. And this is where it becomes very important to be able to be a visionary, have vision, have dreams, have goals that you tie yourself to, that you become very focused on. Because see, your goals, when you think about your goals, or when you think about your vision, when you think about your dreams, these all create pleasure. And I can tell you that I've worked in both of those areas to be able to create success for myself. But I tend to work more so from the vision aspect and creating the pleasure. I'm motivated by the pleasure of what the future holds, of what the direction that I'm going in my business and in my life, and the things that I want to be able to do 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I know that it takes the work right now to be able to do that. So why I'm saying all of that is the purpose of Ford. And when you're talking to someone, is there's going to be pain and pleasure when you're talking about family and the dynamics of where they're at there. There could potentially be pleasure or pain in the occupation aspect of it, as well as recreation. And definitely, like I said, the dreams part, there's usually going to be always going to be pleasure. There could be pain if you're having someone that has dreams, but they're never achieving them. And if they look at you as someone that can help them achieve their dreams, and they look at EXP as something that can help them attain their dreams, they can see themselves moving away from the pain and moving closer to pleasure with that. So hopefully that's making sense to you as far as understanding why you want to be able to do Ford. So again, when you're having this conversation, and it shouldn't be, you're definitely not taking a pen out and writing their responses down. You're making mental notes of all the things that you're talking about in regards to having these conversations with people. And then after the meeting is over, yeah, pull out your notepad and make notes, because you want to remember, though, if you're doing multiple meetings with agents, you want to be able to remember, okay, Tom, this is Ford for him. These are the areas that I need to focus on with him. Amy, these are the areas that I need to focus on with her. But you don't want to write those things down while you're having the conversation, because then it's not a conversation, it's an interview. Or they may look at it as an interrogation. So again, you just want to have a conversation, especially if it's someone it's easy to catch up in regards to family. How the wife, how the kids doing, and let them just share, how's summer going for them. Now, if it's someone that you don't know, and you're sitting down and you're having your small talk, and I usually start, this is not a part of Ford, but if they're in real estate, it's always easy to start with how's business, going. So this is a part of occupation, but it's an easy way to open up the conversation is just, because everyone says, how's business going, especially in real estate. Because we always, again, while the market has been booming for years, not everyone's business was necessarily booming. So this gives you an idea. Honestly, when I go into a meeting, I've already checked MLS. I've already looked at this person's not Netflix, but LinkedIn and Facebook. I pretty much know how business is going already, but I want to hear it from them and hear what they have to say about it. So it's easy to kind of tap into the occupation a little bit. We'll go back to it, but what it does is it helps to lead you back to the main one, family, and asking them, again. So, as you're talking about the business, they're telling you how things are going with the business, and then you say, well, is this something that since you've been in real estate, how have you been able to manage your time, with your wife, your kids, your family, and then finding out, is there a wife and kids and family through those conversations? Are you living in, where are you living at? What part of the area, of the metro area are you living in? Again, asking about, are you getting the type of quality time that you would like? And then also, as you're asking, so it doesn't need to feel like an interrogation where you're asking all the questions. As they're sharing, you can certainly share as well to make it more of a conversational type of step, a process through there, where you're letting them into, so they get to know you also. Because again, that is one of the, again, as I've told you before, being a police officer and being great at interrogating and interviewing people, the part that I had to learn was opening up and letting people inside myself. So now it becomes, kind of the tennis match where they're giving me some, I'm giving them some, we're going back and forth, but I'm taking note and I'm leading the conversation, taking it down the path, that I wanted to go. So I'm learning about, if the kids are in high school, getting ready for college, and oh man, college these days, the cost of college is crazy. Are they looking at scholarships and things of that nature? Kind of finding out what is the mindset around, how they're planning to take care of college for their kids, because again, that may be an avenue that EXP may be able to be beneficial, for them. Where are they living? Are they in their dream home? Are they in their forever home? Are they planning to downsize when the kids are out? Asking common questions like that, learning kind of the family dynamics as to where they're at, and again, sharing your experiences also. And then we go back into occupation. So, we started by just asking, how is business? Now we get into, so how long you been in real estate now? Were you around, right now we're seeing these interest rates go up. Were you around during the crash of 2008? Were you involved in it then? Just questions along those lines, and they'll share, information. And honestly, as they're sharing information, more questions will just naturally pop up because again, it's just a conversation. And I always like to ask and I always like to know and understand, why did you get involved in real estate? What got you excited about real estate? And that one, honestly, I ask it in a way where, because I love sharing that, in regards to what got me excited about it and why I'm still excited about it 21 years later. So that's one of my favorite questions on this whole thing to ask is, what got you involved? And then, asking, what is your favorite thing? What's one of your favorite things to do in real estate? Is it the closing? I always tell people, and when I share my part, my favorite part is working with first-time home buyers and sliding those keys across the table and saying a few words. My whole objective, I want my clients to cry at the closing table, because I know what the feeling is. I remember when I became a home buyer, a homeowner for the first time, and I know the feeling that comes with it. And I'm hoping that my clients, particularly first-time home buyers, are absorbing that moment and living in that moment, and it's not just a transaction. Because honestly, when you get to a point where you bought and sold 3, 4, 5 houses as a homeowner, it's a transaction at that point. And yeah, there's some excitement behind it, but there's nothing, just like most things in life, there's nothing like the first time. So, that's how I share the story. And when I share that story with people, again, it makes them think about, their favorite thing about real estate. And honestly, what I'm wanting to hear is it's not something that's necessarily about them, but it's about their clients. Because I'm also interviewing to find out what type of person am I working with, because I want people that are not focused more so on their commission, on the amount of business that they're getting, but more so the amount of people that they can help, the amount of families that they can impact. So I'm also listening for those types of cues for myself, but it's also helping me to know how I'm structuring further conversation in regards to EXP. And again, at your current brokerage, are you completely 100% happy with everything at your current brokerage? And most people will probably not be able to say that they are 100% happy. If they were, they wouldn't be meeting with you to talk to you about EXP. So in most cases, there's going to be something, you can ask them, what is, if you could change where you're currently at, what is the one thing that you would change about where you're currently at? And then, find out what that thing is. Once again, that's one of those areas. Okay, does EXP accommodate the thing that they would change? If they came here, would they have that one thing? And then I also like to ask, what is your favorite thing about your real estate company? What is the thing that gets you just so excited about being a part of that real estate company? And then once again, I want to make sure that, okay, that's something that EXP also provides. So that's really kind of going through the occupation. Between those two, family and occupation, you're going to find out a lot about what you need to know to be able to know how to approach this person beyond going through the presentation and whatnot, and really tailoring EXP to their needs, because that's really what it's about in any business, is being able to tailor to the needs of the person that whether you're selling something to someone or whether you're offering an opportunity to someone. It has to fit their needs. I mean, everybody wants to buy, but no one wants to be sold. So if you can make this something that fits into what they are looking for, then it makes the conversation a whole lot easier. Recreation, this is helpful for understanding how to leverage time, how to get time freedom back. Asking them, what do they do for fun? How often do they get to do it? If they could do it more often, would they? 9 times out of 10, people usually do. And what keeps them from doing it more? And we usually, it comes down to responsibilities, with real estate, with, family, things of that nature. But if you could take some of that responsibility of the business of real estate off the table, and they still have, they get more family time, they get more recreation time, again, and that's something that we are able to show people how to leverage their time. That's probably one of the biggest proponents that we have within EXP, is the ability to leverage. So recreation, because again, you think about these areas that we're talking about, these are all aspects of people's lives. Everyone has a hobby. There's going to be a family dynamic of some type. And again, if they're in real estate, they actually obviously have an occupation as well. And then again, dreams. This is one that, again, is really big with me. is always dreaming. I'm writing a chapter for a book right now, and the name of the chapter is The Boy Who Never Stopped Dreaming. And because so many people stop dreaming, and I meet with real estate agents all the time that, you know, I'll ask, or just in people in general, I'll ask them, you know, tell me your biggest dream, you know, and they kind of look at me funny. They give me the dog look where they tilt their head and like, what are you talking about? You know, dreaming, you know, dreaming or being a dreamer is almost a negative statement these days, you know, but again, I carry that with a badge of honor. And once again, when I start talking about dreaming, it's easy for me to have that conversation because I believe in dreams. I believe in dreaming with my eyes open. And because of, you know, personal development and what I believe about mindset, I believe in being able to make those dreams come true. So this particular part for me is very easy to have conversation around. And what I want you to think about for it as well is, if you think about, if you've ever done this, where the lottery gets up to $500 million or $1 billion, and it's, you never play the lottery, but because it's at this extraordinary amount, you decide that you're going to play the lottery. And in that moment that you're holding that ticket in your hand before the numbers are drawn, and you don't know if who's going to win or if you're going to win, there's a moment where you start to dream. There's a moment you think, if I win, what would I do? This is what I would do, and this is what I would do. And it's, but those moments are very fleeting when it comes to the lottery, because someone eventually, you know, wins and then it's over. And then if you're not one of those that plays the lottery all the time, you probably don't dream again about it until it's up to $1 billion again. So that's the feeling, though, that people should have all the time. But the difference is, you know, again, part of what we're going to do is coach people how to dream, how to plan, and how to execute on those instead of just dreaming. That's where the people that give dreamers a bad name are the ones that only dream and they don't put the dream into action. They don't put a plan in place to be able to achieve the dream and follow the plan and create something for themselves. So when you're having this conversation with someone, again, I usually ask them, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in your business and in your personal life in 5 years? And you know, they'll tell you, you know, and sometimes it's small, sometimes it's grand. And then, you know, usually my follow-up question, especially if it's grand, is how do you see yourself getting there? What are the things that you're going to do to be able to get yourself to that point? You know, and so finding out what steps they're taking to turn the dream into a reality. And once again, this one, if they're big dreamers, if they're big dreamers or small dreamers, if they're small dreamers, I kind of help them along the way with the dream. You know, if their dream is to just make, you know, in 5 years to be making 100,000 a year in real estate. I mean, the reality to do that is about a transaction almost every month. So about 10 transactions or so would probably get you to 6 figures in real estate. So my thinking is, okay, but so do you want to, in 5 years, 6 figures or $100,000 a year, I should say, is probably still going to be a place where you're just getting by, you know, where you're just making it. So are you in a place where you still want to just kind of continue to be able to just make it, or do you want to just really have it, have life be in a position for you where you have so many options of travel, of going, you know, you see something that you like and being able to not have to think about the budget and say, you know what, I'm treating myself today and I'm getting this no matter, you know, how much it costs. Do you want to put yourself in that type of position with not necessarily having to do, you know, 30 deals or 40 deals? Because again, I've done over the last couple of years 30 plus deals. I think the last 3 years straight, and I can tell you, I don't really have a desire to go into 50, 60 deals per year by myself. So I've put a plan in place to do 50 or 60 deals, but I'm bringing team members along with me. And I do two things there. I help some other people make money with me in real estate, and I also leverage my time. I also put myself in a position to continue to do the thing that I really enjoy, and that's travel, that's hanging out with family, and doing life very easy, instead of it, being a constant grind and always looking for the next real estate transaction. So again, sometimes sharing your dream and how you plan to do it will help other people to start dreaming. But again, taking note of what they want is going to be very important to be able to come back around to the EXP model, because again, it's going to solve any of those pain issues, and it's going to get them closer to those pleasure areas. So another script that we have in regards to this is one that you can use. So let's say you've had this meeting, you had the conversation with someone. What I typically do is I will then show them the 9-minute video. I may have sent it to them previously, and I actually have a system that I use that lets me know exactly how much of the video they watched, so I know if they watched it or not before our meeting. So in most instances, I will just play the video again and say, even if I send it to them and I know they haven't watched it, I'll say this. I'll say, I know I sent this to you and you probably have already watched it a couple of times, but there's some key points in here that I want to point out. So I want to just kind of go through the 9-minute video with you again. And the reason that I do that is because that's what I want you to do, because I want this to be a duplicatable process. If I make it simple where everyone can push play on their phone or tablet or whatever you have someone watching this on, and you don't have to worry about doing a full-on presentation, you will push play a lot more than you'll think about doing a full-on presentation. So I do what I coach people to do, because that person that's sitting across the table from me that's learning about EXP, I want them to see all I did was press play and I let this video do the talking for me. And then those key points that I want to point out, what I'm pointing out is based off of what they've just told me, how this EXP model fits and takes care of those issues that they brought up, or takes care of creating the pleasure that they're looking to gain. So those are the reasons where you're having the conversation with Ford, you're coming right back to the 9-minute video, and at the end of that video, you're pointing out to them, this is how we can resolve some of those concerns, that you have in regards to your current state in your real estate business and where we can get you to. So that's the end of the PowerPoint. I didn't have a chance to finish the entire PowerPoint, but I have a few other key points that I want to touch on. So we'll run through those. Let me just come out of this. So again, now you've shared the 9-minute video. You've touched on some of those points that will give them something to think about in regards to, okay, this EXP model could be the answer to what I'm looking for to change my business. And so the next step is what we call BAMFAM. It's BAMFAM, BAMFAM, book a meeting from a meeting. And what that means is, so two things. Remember last week, we talked about we do two things. We're a messenger of this opportunity. We share the information about this opportunity, and we collect a decision. Now, the goal is, all we want is a yes or no. If it's a no, we're going to circle back. We did a luncheon today, and I had people in that luncheon that I talked to 2 months ago, that I talked to 6 months ago, and had not come on board. One of them said no 6 months ago, but now she's reconsidering. See, this is why it's important. Just like in our real estate business, when you're talking to someone about purchasing a house, but they're not ready, that doesn't mean that you don't talk to them again about purchasing a house. You stay in front of them because at some point they're going to be ready. And that's the same thing with this EXP opportunity. I saw this 5 years ago. I wasn't ready for it. I was in a total different space at that time. But when I saw it again about a year ago, I was ready. I was more than ready. And it made so much more sense to me at that point. So when that person says no, as I mentioned last week, we just put them back in the top of the funnel, and they're circling around up there until, again, things happen. You'll see something on Facebook where it looks like they're unhappy with their brokerage. Oh, this is a good time to reach out. Maybe that's a year down the road, but again, that's something where you can always just circle back around to someone. Now, if they say yes, obviously, okay, now we move through the process of getting them into the business, joining, getting the application done, getting their license moved over, getting them started properly. So the no or the yes, but then you're going to have that person that's they haven't made a decision. They don't know exactly. They want more information, and that's our job. We're the messenger, so we give them more information. Or they got to think about it. Well, while they're thinking about it, we want to be able to just give them more information. So the script that I just had up, let me see if I can pull it up again here real quick. So this is the one, it's a follow-up script, and I don't know why this thing got so big like that, but I will send this script out. But this is a follow-up script that you can attach the 35-minute video to, that now allows them the opportunity to get more in-depth information about EXP. That script right there is telling them, again, why this is the future of real estate, why they should be taking a closer look at it. So it's leading them down the path of just getting additional information. So again, that's part of the BAMF fam. You're letting them know, okay, I'm going to send you this some additional information. If they're in that place of, I don't know, they haven't made a decision yet, they haven't said yes or no yet, then you send them that additional information, and then schedule a time to talk to them. You can do a Zoom, you can do another coffee meeting, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of that that particular email, it actually says, I got time here and here when you send it. So, but I would even try before you send the email and before you end that meeting where you're at, just let them know, do you have time do you have time this weekend to take a look at the video? And more than likely they'll say yes. Lock them in on when they will commit to watching the video. And when they commit, then you tell them, okay, if they say they can watch it this weekend, okay, great. I'm going to reach out to you on Monday. I want to just find out what you thought about it. Please write down any questions that you have, and let's get those questions answered, and just kind of see where things are at for you there. But I think this video will give you more in-depth information. Matter of fact, this is something I do. I'll tell them I'm going to add some additional videos that I think fit your personal situation in real estate from some other agents, so that you can learn more about how they handled making the move to EXP and how it's been for them since they made that move. So again, that way you're locking them in to another time that you're going to have a conversation with them. That time comes, now it's Monday, and you're having that conversation with them. Maybe it's on Zoom or however you're doing the meeting. You're getting those questions answered. You're finding out where they're at. If they're still, again, they're no, back in the funnel, yes, get them started. Still, undecided. Well, what we do is we collect a decision, and undecided is not a decision. We collect yeses or nos. So next step, another BAMF fam. Well, I tell you what, let me get you in contact with one of the team leaders right here in the Denver market. I can, he can share, or she can share, exactly what they're doing to help other people like yourself to build a strong foundation in their EXP business, without it all being about the personal production that they're doing, but being able to leverage themselves. This is, again, just part of the conversation. You're going to know the conversation based off of what you get from that forward in regards to what they need to hear and who they need to hear it from. Sometimes it's going to be great for them to talk to me because there's some things that they're needing that I'm already doing. Maybe it's better for them to talk to Monica, or maybe it's better for them to talk to Jesse and San Diego. So we're going to be able to connect them, and do what we call a three-way call. So remember, when we were talking about going around the bases, this is what we're doing. We're taking them around the bases. We're booking a meeting from a meeting by taking them around the bases, for those different calls or meetings that they need. So we do a three-way call with, let's say it's Jesse. They still haven't made a decision. The next one is where we could book another three-way call. Maybe there's someone else that they should probably talk to that may be helpful in answering some additional concerns. Because again, along the way, if they haven't made a decision, we're finding out what's holding them up from making that decision. So, as we're finding out what the holdup is on making that decision, then we're putting them in front of someone that can clarify whatever that issue is. And then the next step would be, if we do another three-way call, after that, we could do an event. Maybe they attend an EXP training. Maybe they attend a luncheon. Maybe they attend one of the trainings with the Zoom trainings that we do. So there's different types of events that they can attend. It's going to do a couple of things for them. They're going to get more information, but then they're also finding out the environment, the culture that we're creating within our group here and also within EXP. So again, and eventually at some point through there, a decision will be made. It's going to be a yes, no, but until you get that decision, you continue to BAMF. Now, you go through all of those and someone still hasn't made a decision. Yeah, you may have to put them on the back burner, but you definitely circle back around to them. But again, if they haven't made a decision, that's always, a potential yes. Even a no is a potential yes. I was a no, 5 years ago and became a yes. So, so again, never get bothered by the fact that someone hasn't made a decision. And this is just one person. You're going to have multiple people you're doing this with. And so the more people that you have in your funnel, the more that you're going to have dropping out, and they're dropping out at different times. This is, I equate real estate sales the exact same way. The more potential people that I have in my sphere of influence, the more I have of my phone ringing and someone saying, hey, I'm ready to buy. Hey, I'm ready to sell. And it just staying consistent. It's like a drip that keeps coming out. Sometimes it's just flowing out. So it's the exact same thing. Both of these sides compare in regards to the funnel on your real estate side, as well as on the agent attraction piece. So the key is having, on both of those, having a lot of people in your funnel. When you have a lot of people in your funnel, there's always a drip that's coming out. And when that happens, that's a person that is joining your business and you're onboarding them and you're working with them. It gives you an opportunity to promote this piece of it. And all those other people that haven't made a decision are seeing that, man, Barry is really growing this thing. Even though I haven't made a decision, wow, look at him go, or look at her go, or whatever the case may be. So that's the part that you want to also make sure you fill that funnel with as many people and sharing the opportunity with them, because the more you have in there, the more will potentially be dropping out. If you're chasing the same 10 people and really only one or two of them are in the non-decision I haven't made a decision yet. Again, it's a big difference as opposed to if you have 100 people that you're talking to. So that's why it's important to also fill that funnel and then just keep a systematic flow of how you're booking a meeting from a meeting, sharing content, sharing information. If you're part of workplace, EXP puts out an article or some type of post, probably once, twice a week, that is beneficial to be able to share on your own social media as to the growth and the things that are happening with the company. So definitely worth being able to get into EXP and again just have information that you can drip on people and help them to make that decision. So that is pretty much everything that I wanted to cover in regards to the next steps. What we'll continue to do, for those of you that have more questions, definitely reach out. I can get more specific as I'm tackling questions and situations that you're coming across. This script, I will send this script out that we use. We have the simple invite script that you can also use. I want you to, again, just become comfortable, mold it and make it feel comfortable to you with using those different scripts. But when you're, again, when you're booking dates, you don't just open it up and say, hey, what would be a good time for you to meet? A lot of times people will have to check their calendar and get back with you. No, give them two options. Give them, okay, next week I have Wednesday and Thursday open, anywhere between, 1 and 5 on either one of those days. Which day works better for you? Okay, which time works better for you? So you lead them down the path of, again, making a decision onto what time is the next meeting instead of leaving it open-ended for them. So, there's just going to be nuances that you want to make sure that you're doing. When you're doing your script, there's going to be nuances that you want to make sure you're doing there. If you create a script and you're using it and you're not having success with it, or even before you start to use it, I will be happy to, listen to your script or read your script and give you some critique on it as to if you need to change anything and what to change it to and how to say something. Because again, the biggest thing, and one of the things that I think is most important is realizing when we go back to baseball and not trying to knock it out the park, hit a home run with every person that you're sharing this with. If you have the mentality that I just want to get on base, I just need to hit a single, and the single is being able to get that first meeting, because that first meeting is the most crucial because of Ford. Because when you do the family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, you have an arsenal of information to know how you need to approach that person in regards to pain and pleasure, how to give them the pleasure that they want, remove them from the pain that they're in based off of your information there. So again, my objective in many cases is just finding out what are the buttons for them and how EXP is going to help them, with whatever concerns that they have. And then again, just getting them in the funnel, getting them on first base, and then taking it one meeting after the next until I can collect a decision from them. So if you have that type of mindset, get excited just if you get a meeting with someone to be able to share the opportunity. Because again, I always think about my own situation of knowing when I saw this, I knew, again, I came from network marketing. I knew what this was. I knew that it would work because I understand network marketing. It was just a bad timing for me. And it wasn't one of those things where I was ready to make a move. But, and the person that shared it with me at that time, well, they put me on a drip campaign, but they never personally reached out to me again. And someone else reached out to me and they got me at the right time. So we're that messenger. We're informing people. If you inform enough people At the point when it becomes important to them to make a move, guess what? They're coming back to the person that informed them and stayed top of mind. Like I said, there's so many similarities to how we grow from this agent attraction aspect to how we grow our real estate business, you know, and being able to stay top of mind, being able to be present yourself as the agent that everyone, if you're joining EXP, this is the agent I should be working with. This is the team I should be working with. This is the group I should be growing with. So that's really the approach that you want to be able to take with it. And knowing that when they look at it, they're looking at, this is someone that can help me. And well, I'm joining this and I'm helping this person out. I don't want anyone to ever think they're doing me a favor by joining EXP under me, because I know what I bring to the table. I know what EXP brings to the table, and I want them to know that what they're getting is, you know, is golden in regards to how it's going to help change the current situation of their business and leveraging themselves. All right, so I think that's going to pretty much cover everything. The recording is for everyone to use. If you have new people that are coming on, these 2 recordings are recordings that you can send out to them in regards to how to build their EXP business.